Okay, we are now in the middle of chapter 7. We're in the regular edition, page 164. And we've said that the light of God, the infinite light, is pervasive. It is everywhere. It, from its point of view, it does not get curtailed. It does not get blocked. And we're going to speak more about that today, so that we actually have two perspectives. We have from the perspective of the light. The light is everywhere, and anything that happens, any creation that takes place, does not take away from the light at all. It's not like um, that our world and creation takes up some space, and now it pushes away the infinite light. The infinite light of God that creates the world is everywhere. It is throughout. It does not, there's nothing takes away from it. It doesn't get limited at all from its perspective. There is another perspective, another view, and that is the view from us, from creation. For me and you, for creation, this is reality. The world we live in, the car we drive, and so on. This is all reality. The air that we breathe, which restaurant we're going to go for dinner, and so on. This is reality for us. So we have to hear, we have to be told that this is not the real reality. Reality is actually not what we see, not what we see as reality, but it's really the infinite light, which is the creative force, the force that creates the world. So we're told that, and we can accept it. We can hear, we can say, okay, we can accept. So so we understand that that the light of God is is unity. It exists. It creates the world. It's all powerful. And we can understand that the world does not exist on its own. The only way that the world exists is through the light of God. And from this perspective, there is a world. The world is our reality, but we know that 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 it's secondary to the light of God. So this is also looking at the unity of God. And this is the way we see the way the infinite light looks to us. So that and that we acknowledge it. We say, yes, we know that the light of God is a powerful force. It creates the world. And we acknowledge that. And the world could not exist without it. And the world is, if you want to use the word, minuscule or or of little significance in relation to the infinite light of God. So this is the unity of God as seen from our perspective. So we have two perspectives on this. And we've been talking about the first perspective, about the light of God is all existence. From the perspective of the light, there is no curtailment. The light does not get limited from the perspective of the light. If you want, you might call it a paradox, or you might call it an optical illusion. But from the perspective of the light is everything. And even anything that creates does not change anything in the light. But the light is takes up everything. So not only is no change in the light, but from its point of view, there's no change, I guess, period. We're going to speak about this now. We're on the regular edition. We're on page 164. In this edition, it says the middle of 917. It is at the beginning of the portion for that we study on the 22nd of Sivan or the 23rd of Sivan. Vine b'masha kasavnu yuvan masha kasav. So now we can understand what is written in the book of Malachi, the last prophet, the last of the books of the prophets. Ani Hashem lo shanisi. I, God, have not changed, or I do not change. Perish, what this means is she'ein shum shinoi klal k'moshel haya levadei kaidem b'Yisraelim. That there is absolutely no change in God. And as we said, this is from, I'm sorry, the no change from the way that he existed before the world was created, kachu levadei achar shenivra. And so too, God is the same. He does not change after the world is created. There's nothing extra, there's nothing else. From the perspective of the light, there is no difference, there is no change. In the prayers, in the Siddur, we have in the classic edition is page 17. In the Siddur, I'm gonna get one and hold it up to the camera, to the screen. I got the old edition.
What is the difference between old edition and classic edition? What is the difference?
This is the classic edition. And the one we use, the second one, the blue one at Yeshiva is the annotated.
Annotated. What is the main difference between two books?
The annotated, the main difference is that the two main differences. One is that all the prayers are written where they're meant to be said. You don't in here. There's sometimes it says, now we say this prayer, turn to a different page for it. So over there, if it has all the prayers in wherever it needs to be said. For example, the Kaddish. In this, the Kaddish is only written a few times. And then it'll say the Kaddish now, but it's not written there. You have to turn the page to find Kaddish. In the annotated, every time you need Kaddish, it's written out full. The second difference is that the annotated has notes to tell you what to do. Like here we should stand, here we should sit, things like that. And that this Siddur does not have that.
Understood.
So over here we say, we have Shema in the early morning, and afterwards it says, over here, you were the same before the world was created. You are the same. What does it say? Since. You are the same since the world has been created.
Yeah.
So before the world is created, after the world is created, you're the same. You haven't changed. And that's what it says here. And we're going to explain as we go on.
Chaim, what is page 164?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
In the middle. Beli shum shinui b'atzmusai. Without any change in the essence of God. v'loi b'daitoi, and not in his mind either. That means not in what he knows. So here we're going to say something that is very hard for us as humans to understand. We're going to say that there is no change in, let's say, take me and you, okay? Yesterday, we did not know who's going to win the March Madness, the college basketball games. Today, I don't know if they play today, tonight. I don't know, follow the schedule. They're going to they're going to play, and then when the game is over, now we know who won. Before the game, people take bets. Some bet that this team is going to win. Some bet that team is going to win. No one knows for sure. Even if one team is heavily favored, there can always be an upset, and the other team wins. So nobody knows afterwards. Now we know. So yesterday we didn't know who won, who will win, but after the game we know who won. Or another example, um, you're studying a certain a certain thing that interests you, and you're reading a book, and you learn something new from the book. So yesterday you didn't know this, and today you did know. So you've grown, we say you learn something new. The in for for Hashem, what Hashem knows is part of him, and he doesn't change. So tomorrow he can't know more than he knew yesterday. Because if he knew more, then he would change. Especially since his knowledge is part of him, part of his essence. So um, therefore, he does since he doesn't change, that means that everything is the same, just like it was. Even creation doesn't push him out of the way. It doesn't add anything. It doesn't change anything. God is the same at all times. And since he's everywhere and he's throughout, therefore, therefore, creation isn't anything different. It's not outside of him. It's nothing. It's nothing else. Now we're going to read this inside. And then what's important to remember is that not only is it it's not like human beings, but it's not something that we can understand. We just have to read it, and I'm going to say take it for what it says. That how does God know what's happening with the created beings? He knows because it's a part of how he knows himself. These things are not, everything is not outside him. It's part of him. And he knows himself. Shahakol mimenu. Ubato b'mesius eslai. Because everything comes from him, and everything is canceled. It's null compared to him. Rambam Zal. Now, and the Maimonides, who lived 800 years ago, and he wrote to explain this. Not necessarily did he have all the terms or the words to say this, like we have from later times, from the rabbis or the Kabbalists later, the rabbis of Kabbalah, whether it's the Maharal of Prague or the Shalah HaKadosh or the Baal Shem Tov or the Alter Rebbe. So The Rambam maybe did not have the terms. What is the Rambam? How does he say it? He says Shuhu HaYodea, that God is the one who God plays three roles. One, he is the one who knows. Vuhu Hayadua, and he is the subject matter that's known. The 3 plus 4 is 7, or the square root of um, of 81 is 9. Vuhu Hadeya Atzma, and he is also um, the ability to know what the mind that a person uses to know. Hakol echad, it is all one thing. The person who knows, the subject or the concept that gets known, and the the let's say the part of the body or the ability of the body to know. But it's all one thing. These aren't separate. And what he goes on to say, "V'davar zeh ein koyach b'pela amrei v'loy bazn l'shamai v'loy b'leiv adam l'kirei aburyai." That this idea is not something that human beings can get. We can't speak to explain it clearly. We hear it and it's foreign to our ears, and it's not, and with in our mind or our heart to understand exactly what it means, we can't. Hashem, his essence, his daitai means, I guess, his knowledge. It is all one. It is absolute unity. Mikol sad upina. From any angle, any way that you look at it, any angle, any corner, it's all one. B'chol derech yichud, in an absolute unity. As I may have explained before recently, I have a bottle of lotion. The bottle of lotion has a front. The bottle of lotion has a back. The bottle of lotion has a top and a bottom. The bottle of lotion has an outside, which is the bottle, and an inside, which is filled with lotion. Any object you're going to have has a top, a bottom. There's maybe a higher part, a lower part. There's differences. I once took a ball, for an example, a ball that the children, a game ball or a gym ball, not a basketball, not a soccer ball or a volleyball, but a they have the game balls that are either that keep people play kickball. Excuse me, if people, for example, play kickball, or they might play um, elimination, and the ball is a circle. The ball is the same all around. There is no top, there is no bottom. Okay, there are two small exceptions on the ball. Number one, it has the um, whatever you call it, the plug that you stick in the needle to blow the ball up. And usually there's a seam at one point on the ball. There's a seam. I guess they take two halves and they attach them together and they seal them. So there is a seam around the end, around the middle. There's like an equator. But other than those two things, other than the seam around it and the piece to put in um the needle to blow it up, the outside of the ball has no top, it has no bottom. You can't say the front or the back. It's all one thing. Even let's say a book. Book has a front page and then a back page. The book has to be held a certain way. So there are different parts with the with the light of God, there is no up or down. And there is an absolute unity that it is the same. If I could use the word any part of it, which really doesn't make sense, but it is the same. And and creation does not change that. Creation does not affect that. Because as we said, it is of no significance. And this is ve'ein daitoi davar noisav amusavas musai. And the knowledge of God is not something that's extra, that's outside, that's in addition to him. Adam, like it is by people. Shadaita davar nasuf naisaf amuhusoi omurkava. That what we know is something different. It's something new. It means that, and it becomes a part of us. It becomes ingrained in our mind and it becomes a part of us, but it's not anything. But for people, it's new. That last week I didn't know this, and today I do know this. So we have changed. We have some new knowledge. For God, there's no such thing as new, as different. There's no new knowledge. It's all that it is the same as it was years ago and the same today. The same before the world is created and the same after the world is created. That when a person goes to learn something and now he knows something that he didn't know before, he had a, if you want to say in English, he had a mind. He had the ability to learn. And before he learned this, now after he learns it, so this knowledge is new to him. He learned something new. So the person has changed. And so too, day by day, people learn new things, and therefore this is why we say that people get smarter as they grow older. Experience is the best teacher. So we hope that people get smarter as they grow older. As it says in the book of Eov, Yamim Yedaberu, that days, that people learn from days. It means you learn from experience. And as the years go by, a person increases in their wisdom. This is not an absolute unity. The knowledge that we gain, yes, it becomes part of us, but it's something that's added to us. It's something new for us. So that's how it is for humans. And again, for Hashem, it's not something that we're able to understand. I'm going to continue. We're on page 165. Hashem is absolute unity. The word that's used is simple. And simple doesn't mean we commonly think of something being simple, something being easy. The word simple really means that there's one piece. The opposite of simple is not hard. The opposite of simple is complex. Complex means that it has multiple parts. Simple means it has one part. And that Hashem is simple. He is a simple unity. Without anything that could be added on, without anything that could be multiple, that could be more. There's no such thing as going from 99 to 100. Ve'im kein al korchach musa v'tzusa v'daita hakol davar echad mamish. B'li shum harkava. And since he doesn't change, we must say that his essence and his knowledge is all one thing without any without any integration or without anything added. And therefore, it's impossible for any created being to understand or to grasp the essence of Hashem, to understand how this works. Since the knowledge, God's knowledge, is one with him, if we can't understand him, we can't understand knowledge either, his knowledge. We just have to accept the fact, on faith, that the knowledge of God is beyond our comprehension. Because Hashem is unified. He is one. He and his knowledge are all actual one. And just out of his, if you want to say in human terms, self-awareness, he knows himself. He automatically knows everything in the world, in the heavens, the angels, with people. It's because everything is a part of him, and his knowledge is one with him. Okay, we might not know ourselves. We don't know what's going on in our internal organs. We're here, we assume we breathe, we assume we digest. But if something's the matter, we might not know about it inside. You take a blood test or do a test at the hospital. Oh, look, we see that you're lacking iron or something like that. You know, you have high cholesterol. Do you know if you have high cholesterol or not just because it's part of you? We don't. Right? We need to get a blood test. But God knows everything because I'm going to say it's all part of him. Until the smallest worm in the water, in the sea, until the smallest flea on earth, it says here in the belly of the earth, Ein davar nela mimenu, nothing is hidden from him. And the knowledge of what's goes on in the world doesn't add into him any type of knowledge. Because it's just how he knows himself, that himself, his knowledge is all one thing. Okay? Now, we are human beings, and this is beyond us. This is very difficult for us to imagine. Al Kain Amar Navi. So the prophet writes, Ki gavu shemaim le'ores, Kain gavu drachai midarchechem. That as the heaven is above, higher than the earth, my ways are higher than your ways. My thoughts are higher than your thoughts, are beyond your thoughts. What does that mean? Not that we're thinking of 2 plus 2, and he's thinking of E equals MC squared, or PV equals nRT. That's about the only thing I remember from my 10th grade chemistry class. I don't even remember that. I don't know what it all stands for. The what it means is that God's thoughts work on a whole different plane. It means that it's hard, it's one with him. And it's part of the absolute unity. Uksiv, now it also says in the prophets, Hacheker, I think in the book of Eov, Job, Hacheker Eloikatim Savagemer. If you explore and you try to understand God, will you discover? Will you figure out, will you get it? And the answer is no. Uksiv, Ha'ene Basar Lacha Im Eis Enesh Tira. Do you do you have human eyes of flesh? Do you see the way people see? And the answer is no. God sees means that he knows because again it's part of him. The person sees and knows things with knowledge that is not part of him. It's outside him. And Hashem knows because he knows himself, and this is a part of him. Ayin Sham Hilchos Yesodei Torah, V'Skimu Chachmei Kabbalah, K'Mavor B'Pardes Me'Raksal, that the Maimonides, the Rambam, explains this in the first section of his encyclopedia of all the mitzvahs and all the laws. There are 83 sections. In the very first section, he writes about this to describe Hashem and the even though it is a book of laws and mitzvahs, but the wise men of the Kabbalah um, validated what the Rambam writes and he quotes the book from Rav Moshe Cordovero, the Pardes of Moshe Cordovero for this. So the bottom line is that all of creation and everything does not change God one bit. The infinite light, the encompassing infinite light, is pervasive, it is throughout, and it's not like he has to move away to make room for creation. Creation has no significance compared to the infinite light. From that perspective, there is all that exists is just God in absolute unity. And this is what we say, Shema Yisrael. Listen, Israel, Hashem or Havaya Elokeinu, that Havaya is the creative force, this infinite light. Elokeinu is the force of creation, where creation exists. So don't think that that creation is different or it takes away Havaya Echad. That all of the what happens through Elokeinu, that creation occurs, is all does not take away one iota from the absolute unity of Hashem. This is the perspective from the perspective of the light. Okay, and this is the end of a paragraph. We're in the middle of chapter 7.
Can I just ask you something, Rabbi?
Yes.
Isn't that what you would expect from a god? You know, all those powers, it's comforting to know all those powers exist in the person I have faith in, or in the entity that I have faith in.
So you're saying it's obvious?
No, I'm saying it's comforting.
It's comforting.
Yeah. It's very comforting. It's like having a wall to lean on.
If what?
It's like having a wall to lean on. You know, something that's just there and constant and strong is an understatement, but you know what I'm talking about. It's all
Okay.
powerful.
Yes. Very good. Very good. I guess so. I guess it opens up a lot of different ideas. But that would be one.
Yes, that's well, just
Very
personal.
good. Okay.
Okay. To be continued.
To be continued. Thank you for joining.
Thank
Wonderful
you.
evening. Thank
Thank
you.
Good evening. Bye.
All right,
Bye.
we'll continue after Pesach is over. I think that's in 4 weeks.
Bye. Okay, thank you, Rabbi.
Okay. Bye. Good night to all.
Good night.
Yeah. Thank you for listening.